I wanted to show you a quick and easy way to pack a lot of flavor into a ganache but not have it take forever. I'm using two different methods. One, I am using some Earl Grey loose leaf tea and I'm going to do an infusion, and then I'm also using some Caramelia milk chocolate instead of just a normal milk chocolate, so you get some notes of caramel in there and some extra sweetness. So I'm putting my dark chocolate and that Caramelia chocolate along with some honey, or you could use trimoline or inverted sugar, into a bowl. Then I'm heating up my cream. Since I'm making such a small batch, I just did that in my microwave. I want it hot enough so that when I stir my loose leaf tea in there, it's going to infuse really well. I'm going to set this aside to infuse for 5 to 10 minutes. You really want to make sure that the cream is looking like tea. It should be a nice light tan color, and the reason I use loose leaf tea is partially for quality and partially for surface area. If you put a tea bag in there, the cream is going to have a lot harder time getting into every little nook and cranny, in my opinion. So I just strained that out. You might need to reheat the cream after that before pouring it over your chocolates. Because the ratio of chocolate to cream is pretty high in this ganache, you might want to slightly melt your chocolates. You can just pop them into the microwave or over a double boiler to help soften them up a little bit. Otherwise, you will want to make sure that your cream is at a nice scald to make sure it can melt all of the chocolate. Then I'm just going to whisk all of that together before adding in the butter and some salt and switching over to my immersion blender. I really like to add the butter after I've stirred the heated cream through the chocolate and melted the chocolate. This really helps with the consistency and texture. It should taste really nice and silky smooth when you bite into it later. It should pipe like a dream. If you add in the butter right away and it melts, that does change the texture and consistency of the butter, and that can lead to a ganache that is fine but doesn't quite get that silky, elastic smoothness that we associate with a really good ganache. I am pouring it into a sheet pan lined with plastic wrap. That's just giving me a lot of surface area to help it cool down as quickly as possible. Then I'm just going to scrape it up into a piping bag and pipe my macarons. Like I said, this is a really simple and easy ganache recipe. It does not take too much time. You do not need to have a bunch of pastry know-how to make this work. It's quite simple, but with that addition of a good quality Earl Grey tea and the Caramelia milk chocolate, this ganache has a really nice caramely, sweet, kind of floral, grassy note to it. There are just a lot of layers that your more typical chocolate ganache doesn't have, and yet you haven't gone through the effort of doing something super complicated. So I really love playing around with this ganache. I love Earl Grey. I'm a huge Earl Grey fan. Of course, if you do not have Caramelia chocolate in your kitchen, you absolutely can just substitute in milk chocolate for that. If you are not an Earl Grey person, this can still be a really lovely basic ganache with just dark chocolate and Caramelia. But if you are looking to play around with something a little bit fun and different, I really recommend you try this out, see what it's like, see what your family and friends think of this variety of ganache. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short and sweet little tutorial today. And if you're not already subscribed down below, make sure to do that so you don't miss out on any of my other recipes or tutorials in the future. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye!